Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra.
We're ladies.
And we tangent. What's up, everyone? Hello. We're here.
I'm in a good mood.
Are you?
No, I am.
Good.
I woke up last night from sleeping.
Sure.
And the first thing I thought was I have to tell Sierra my dream. So much so that I repeated it to myself over and over again so that I wouldn't forget it.
Babe, write it down.
I know. So, well, I couldn't write it down because Forrest had come in my room and he was yelling at me because he's like, you put me in my own bed. And I was like, well, that is where you sleep. That's where you sleep. And he's like, but I want to lay in your bed. And I was like, okay, come lay down. And he's like, but it's too bright in here. And I was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do about that. I don't have blackout curtains yet.
It's a window.
That's why I put you in your bed because I know you like a dark room.
Yeah.
And he's like, turn it off. And I go, that's the sun. I can't do anything about the sun. I can't turn that off. Anyway, so that's why I didn't write it down.
Okay, fair.
With
There's
that.
a lot going on.
Yeah. But so what happened in this part of the dream, I knew there was more, but this is the part that was important, is I was at a sporting event, okay? The sport doesn't exist in real life. It is some kind of some kind of a mix between basketball and American football.
Flugelball.
Okay, so
I knew it immediately.
my friend Chase was playing flugelball, okay?
And he would be a phenomenal flugelball player.
He was actually ass.
Oh.
For whatever reason, like he would
Sorry,
be
Chase.
up the court and they'd throw him the ball and he would be wide open and he would just fucking bonk it off the rim. He would just
he's a model.
I was like it's like, can you act? He's an actor.
Can't
Can
be
you
pretty
act
and
like
an
a better, can you be a better athlete, please? So anyway, while he's playing, I can't be into the game because he sucks. So I just have to find a different way to have a good time. So there's a little concession stand right by where I'm sitting, which is 2 rows behind the players. Okay, they're like right in front of me. I can smell their sweat. I could probably wipe it off their face if I needed to.
Yummy.
I turn over my shoulder and that's where the concession stand is.
Okay.
So I turn around and I watch somebody order a 1.5 cups of 7-Up. I thought it was weird, but the lady pulled out 2 cans of 7-Up and put 1.5 cups and gave it to this person. And she looks at me and she goes, do you want the half of this 7-Up? And I said, sure. And so she gave me a straw and I'm sipping it. I'm sipping 7-Up out of a can, out of a straw. And I say, I feel like a Kardashian.
Why?
Because they drink everything out of straws so they don't fuck up their lipstick.
So do I. But it's so that I don't fuck up my tooth nerve that's exposed.
It's a little different. So my sister is with me.
Okay.
And I look at her and I say, I feel like a Kardashian. And she goes, what? And I go, this is so stupid. But I said, my chef, bolognese ricotta, makes the best spaghetti and meatballs. And then I answered myself and was like, you stole chef bolognese ricotta bolognese from me. He also makes me meatballs, but without meat. I just eat balls. So I had this whole conversation by myself in my dream.
Okay.
And then I woke up.
That was it.
That was it.
A Kardashian impression.
I did a Kardashian impression. And apparently they have a chef that I've named
Bolognese ricotta?
I think it's ricotta bolognese.
Oh.
Which is just a cheese and a type of pasta, I think. A pasta sauce.
I was like, what is a bolognese?
A bolognese. Well,
Bol-
I had lasagna bolognese at Macaroni Grill, and that's why I was so
shit
gassy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was good.
It was good. We were farting, dude. Macaroni
Anyway.
Grill had us fucked up.
That's all I had.
Wow, incredible.
In my dream, I had a really good impression of the Kardashians.
You just did
in
a good
real
one.
life, no.
No, I think it was. I actually was thinking, I want to listen to that back and see what it sounds like if I don't see your face doing it.
Which Kardashian did I sound like?
All of them.
All in one.
They all sound the same.
Oh my gosh.
I would say you sound
really? Yeah.
That was Kim.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it would be Courtney.
Courtney's a little more
Yeah.
Yeah.
My chef, ricotta bolognese.
That's her. That's Courtney.
He makes meatballs.
But you have
without
to
the meat.
elongate the
I just eat balls.
the meat. just eat balls. Yeah, you have to like really elongate your words and have kind of like
balls
at the end of it.
This is now a class. I hope you guys are.
I'm going to teach you.
Everyone practice.
I am horrible.
Horrible. In your car, practice right now.
Do it. You won't.
Spaghetti.
One more time.
Ricotta bolognese.
Do it again.
I can't do it without laughing.
I just like to be a coach.
My chef, ricotta bolognese.
There it is. Okay, ricotta was impressive.
Okay.
Ricotta was 100% Courtney.
Okay. He makes meatballs.
Now that was a little Chloe.
You think?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know in the comments below.
What does she sound like?
I can't wait to see people be like, ricotta, bolognese, meatballs, sounds like Kourtney Kardashian.
This part sounds like.
What the fuck?
Speaking of the Kardashians.
Interesting.
No, I have nothing.
Okay. I was like, wow, how did that was a random segue.
What I did want to say about bolognese.
Actually, the segue was bolognese.
I'm just kidding. I got nothing for that as well.
You got anything for ricotta?
No.
Balls?
No. What I do have is this topic, which is going to be ghost stories because it's October.
It is October when this comes out.
Spoopy season.
Is it October 1st when this comes out?
It's 2nd, I think.
That's my sister's birthday if it is.
Is it?
Happy birthday, Sam,
Happy birthday,
on October
Sam.
2nd.
It is October 1st. So happy birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday tomorrow, Sam. I don't know when you listen to these. I think you do listen to them.
We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. I have a show on your birthday.
You know what's really funny is there was somebody who told me, they were like, I do love your podcast, but I don't listen because like they're spooky. And it scared me. And I think they just listened to one ghost episode. It's like they do that so frequently. Or not frequent, so infrequently.
Yeah, what is scary about it? I mean, I live my life, and it's kind of scary.
I mean, we are on a roller coaster called life.
Yeah.
And that can be scary.
And it is so scary.
However,
It's scary.
There you go.
It's in the back of the
That
throat.
was Kim.
I'm doing Courtney.
No, but it was Kim.
Okay.
I'm telling you. Courtney's very difficult to do, I feel. Which is weird because you would think she would be the easiest.
You think?
But she's so
There's that one creator.
monotoned.
There's that one creator on TikTok who does them so fucking well.
Yeah, like you can have you have to have almost no emotion when you're doing
do
Courtney.
that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Okay, that was better. Okay, that was better.
Everyone's like, I fucking hate this. Please stop doing
what
it.
I was going to tell you about the Kardashians is, did you ever watch Kendall Jenner
Okay.
try to cut a cucumber?
Yes. Yes.
I love seeing rich people do normal things.
Just
They're
do
so
normal shit.
Stupid.
Hey, she can ride a horse.
Well,
She can do rich people shit. And I could never. There's rich. They don't have to know how to cut a cucumber.
They've never had to cut a vegetable in their life.
No,
Imagine.
She's learning how to fucking jump on horseback.
Is she?
She's a good horse rider.
Is she?
She is.
Is she a good horse rider? Like she's a good model?
She is a good model.
Is she?
Have you seen her?
Have you seen her runway walk?
I'm not talking about runway.
Well, that's a big part of being a model.
But it's not the only part.
But she is a runway model.
She's also a model.
That's fine, but
Don't talk about my sister like this.
but if you're gonna be, don't you go hard for the Kardashians.
I'm not. First of all, she's a Jenner. Second of all,
She's under the umbrella.
I'm not going hard. I'm just saying she is a good horse rider.
That's fine. I'm talking about a model.
You said, is she a
runway
good
walk
horse rider? Like
sucks.
she's a good model. Can I tell you, I was listening to the Boob Slap Heard Around the World, and we did something like this, and at some point you go, I'm so fucking tired of you right now. And that's just what I felt was happening. I'm so fucking tired of you.
Fuck this.
honestly don't care enough.
No, not about them.
No.
Sure, her runway walk is fucking tragic. That's all I have to say about that.
I want to see us try and do it.
I'm not a Nepo baby. So I don't need
what,
to be.
You genetically, you're not predispositioned to know how to walk?
No, my thing is, I don't like that she gets praised and better jobs because of who she's related to.
Yes.
When her talent is lesser than. I don't pretend to be a model, babe. I know my talent's ass. But if my mother was rich and I got a job over someone who was talented and I look like this, I'm 5'3" and I'm stumbling around like fucking Bambi in heels, I hate you.
But are you taking that job?
No!
You're not going to take that job?
If I'm a Nepo baby, I'm not doing any jobs. Are you fucking kidding?
Okay.
Are you kidding?
Okay. It's not that you're being altruistic.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Let's be so fucking real.
I'm really familiar with what the word altruistic means now because I've been watching the morning show and they use it a lot.
Oh, okay, good.
And I Google.
Literate.
I'm a literate
She's
motherfucker.
Literate, babe. Now, what I wanted to say, which was transitioning the topic, last night I was rereading because I try to like prep, reread, try to put him in like a position maybe that I want him to go in.
Yeah.
And also, just for my knowledge of words, it's better for me if I can suss out where I might fuck up on a word.
Yeah.
However, I did a late night stream last night,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to do it at like 2 a.m.
Eesh.
Okay? I'm in bed. I have to get up and pee. Now, my daughter's sleeping beside me, so I get up. I go to the bathroom. I don't turn on any lights. I have my cell phone, and I'm reading the emails, and I'm just using that as my light.
Yeah.
But I go into my bathroom. I shut the door so she can't see. I start to use the bathroom. I'm reading the story that, honestly, I didn't have the creeps when I was reading them in the daytime so much. At night, it's different.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, out of my periph, I see the door slowly opening. And it opens so slow. And I am pissing.
Yep.
So I'm
girl.
the most vulnerable I've ever been.
Right.
And I look over and I go, ah! Just like that. And I just see a tiny person like this.
Oh, no.
And it is my child.
Well, that's good.
She has silently, she doesn't wake up anymore. And if she does, she'll cry for a while.
Yep.
She heard me, I guess, get out of bed and decided, me too.
Yep.
And followed me silently and then just slowly opened the door and was standing there with her eyes still closed, pinky in her mouth. So I just hear, and I turn my flashlight over because I have no lights on.
Yeah.
And I go, ah! And there's she like a monster.
She's like a scarecrow.
Hair, wild. And then she starts crying because I've yelled.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's okay, mommy's here, whatever.
Yeah.
So then I couldn't read these anymore because I was scared and I wanted to just go to sleep. So
I thought you were going to tell me it was one of your cats. And I'll tell you, out of nowhere, I don't know what's up with kids, but out of nowhere, they'll just say some out-of-pocket shit where it's like, where did that come from?
And why?
Like last night, I get in bed with Ollie and he's like, will you stay with me? And I was like, yeah, buddy, I'll stay with you until you fall asleep. And he goes, but I thought you were going to go with Bubba. And I was like, I'll go with Bubba. Once you're asleep, I'll go and lay with him. And he goes, okay. Eyes are closed. We're laying there. And out of nowhere, he goes, windmills are really hard to make go in Minecraft. And I'm like, okay.
sick.
Awesome. Now, the reason I tell you that story again is because in the car, this happens again, except with Forrest. He goes, there's a cat named Pickles. And I go, what? They have 2 cats. And I go, who has 2 cats? And he goes,
about my
he goes, Cece and Corey have 2 cats and one's named Pickles.
I forgot he came over. He loved pickles.
He goes, I don't know the other one's name. And I was like, what? Where did
that one didn't want to touch him at all.
Why are we talking about their cats? It just came out of nowhere. He goes, there's a cat named Pickles. They have 2 cats. Who?
Why are you doing this, cats? Where are we?
I never thought my house was haunted until the night that I was awoken at 2 a.m. by my fire alarm.
I was gonna say, how now here's what I would be worried about. Your house is so new. Couldn't be newer.
Mm-hmm.
Fresh.
Mm-hmm.
As baby's freshness.
As a baby is fresh.
Do you think that's following you then? That's my
Well,
question.
I don't know
It's not
because
the house.
I also wonder if it's
The land.
the land because
Interesting.
it's very old and we are
Has it ever been
technically in
lived upon?
Appalachia. No.
Oh, but Appalachia.
And also, I'm afraid of the whole deer people thing.
Yeah.
Or the not deer.
Soon.
Yeah. Because I was driving home and I look on the side of the road and it looked like this deer was standing on two legs and its neck was really narrow and its head was really small. And I was like, no, maybe it's just on an angle because, I live on a hill. Maybe it's just on an angle. But then the deer just started coming out of nowhere and they started stomping their feet at me.
Yeah.
And then at 2, I don't think I've told this story, but I kept finding like random blood in my house. I think it's from Mosby.
Yeah.
Because he runs through bushes a lot. He runs through like the thicket of everything, thorns, and he comes back covered in stuff. So sometimes I think it's just because he went hard and like got a stick in the paw.
Sure.
But I couldn't find any blood on him. And so it was weird that there was like a drop here by the door, a drop by the pantry. There was some smeared like on the door by my bedroom.
Is it places he can reach or no?
I mean, the floor, yes, but the one
the
on the door, I don't know. I mean, it was not much taller than he is, but I don't know. I know. I don't
like it.
And so all of that, the not deer thing, the blood, and then at 2 a.m. one night, my smoke detector just starts going off, screaming.
Yeah.
And it's only mine. It's only in my bedroom.
Ew.
No other one was going off.
Ew.
And Ollie came running in and he's like, what is that sound? And I'm like, oh, it's just, this is how I know I'd die in a fire. Because as soon as I heard it, I didn't think at all something's wrong. I thought, shut up.
Yeah.
Turn off.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And then Forrest started screaming in his room. So I went and checked on him and he was like, shut it off, Mom. Why'd you do that? And I'm like, I didn't fucking do it. I don't know why
what
this
are you
is
saying
happening.
to me?
And then after like 3 minutes, it shut off and never came back on again. But
you know, my sister has that happen a lot, and it is ghosts in her house. I'm like 90% sure. So just so you're aware.
Well,
I couldn't be less haunted.
Hazel.
It's almost upsetting. To the point where the other day I was like, am I being haunted? Because I heard a noise. And then I did remember I have cats. And I was like, she pushed a fucking glass off the counter, son of a bitch.
See, my short-term memory is really bad. So I don't know if I'm being haunted or if I'm just forgetful. Because, so Hazel, Brady's dog, has been staying at my house. And so I left to go take the kids to school. Brady went up to the house to go check on Hazel. And he goes, the front door was just wide open. And then I also heard a cell phone outside. I don't know. I'm having spooky things happen. And I don't know I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on.
Scary.
Mm-hmm. But all of that happened around the same time.
Well, this episode's not going to help you at all.
Great.
Before we get into it, though, I want to tell you a little bit something heartwarming that was nice.
Okay.
We went to Spirit Halloween just because no one wanted to.
I love that I never thought a heartwarming story would start with Spirit Halloween.
It did. So we went there because we have one around us and no one wanted to go, and he picked out a costume. So he picked out a Grim Reaper Halloween costume. It's very cute. And Sawyer picked out Baby Shark.
Aw.
It's so cute on her, honestly. She won't take it off.
Right.
She won't take it off. So,
is it yellow?
Yes, it is.
I saw it last night.
So cute.
I saw it.
Were they taking pictures of her in it?
Well,
she loves it.
Brady was at your house and he was Snapchatting me, and she was sitting on
still in it?
Cat Ball's lap in her Baby Shark costume.
She won't take it off. She fucking loves it. So Noah also loves his. So both my kids were just in their costume, and I was like, this is adulthood right now. It's just my kids are going to live in their costumes until Halloween. Yes. But Noah was really excited because he knew I was streaming last night, and so he was like, can I prank your stream? When you start it, can I be sitting in it in my Grim Reaper? And I was like, yes.
You absolutely can.
That's what we did. We started it off. He was sitting there and he did like a creepy voice. He was like, welcome everybody. I'll have to show it to you. It's so funny. It was all his idea. Oh. And everybody is like, what the fuck? But then we do like a little skit. He reveals who he is, whatever. And I thought it was just going to be a little 2-second thing. By the way, when we go to start it, he's so nervous. He's being super overly like okay, well, what about this? What am I going to say with this? And I'm just practicing his lines, and he's pacing back and forth, and it's like watching me before a live show. Okay. Yes. And I told Corey that. I was like, is this not? And it was so funny, Jerry, because I'm not kidding. It literally was like I was watching me, because when that stream turned on and he got into show mode, he was like a professional. He got into showboat mode immediately. Then he's like, all right, everybody, see you later. And he's like, actually, anybody got any questions for me? He took 30 minutes and answered questions.
Oh my God. In his Grim Reaper costume?
He took the hood off eventually, but for the majority of it, yes. And at one point he was just dancing behind me. Grim Reaper. It was so, I was like, this kid is a born
performer,
entertainer. Yes. Like he was on, and it was really fun to see, because I feel like I asked Corey afterwards, because he was recording us. It was cute. You sit over there with his little cell phone, even though I was like, it is recording. But it was cute.
He was getting BTS, a little behind the scenes.
I was like, is this what it's like when you watch me perform? Because he's like, I do sometimes panic because you are so nervous beforehand. And I'm like, oh, is she gonna bomb? You know what's gonna happen?
What's funny is, like, the majority of the time when you're like that, no one bats an eye.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, like, alive and I'm kind of just like, meh, they're like, uh-oh.
Is she gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Because I turn it on. It's almost like it's a fucking reflex. I don't know. But I've never seen it before until I watched it in Noah. And then it was just really, it was a wholesome moment. Because I was like, that was really cute to see him
that is wholesome.
Turn into show Noah.
Showa.
Anyways, but now it's spooky. And I asked him, can I tell you some of these ghost stories? And he was like, don't do that. And I was like, fair. Say less. But he was like, Mom, what if I did a stream when I was older? And I go, if you get to the point where you're old enough to do a stream and you want to, I'll set it all up for you. You let me know. You obviously have a talent in this. Yeah. He was freaking, oh my God, he was so impressive. I was like, this kid is so...
Was he like reading all the stuff?
Reading and answering and being witty and cracking jokes.
That's impressive.
Wait till you see it. I was shocked.
That's impressive.
It's on my VODs if you want to watch it.
I can't. I can't. I'm horrible at lives because I get really quiet and in my head when I'm reading stuff.
I was watching him and like almost starstruck. So I'm like, how is he so good at this?
That's cute.
He was reading it. He would be like, read it, answer, clock it, make a joke. Next one. Gonna make a joke here. Boom. Oh my God. This kid is insane. Okay, so I'm going to start it off with, there's so many scary ones. This one is called The Time My Daughter Got Possessed by an Alien, ?
I'm also afraid of aliens up at my house. There's so much big open field.
I'll tell you right now, if anyone's going to get abducted, it'll be up here.
Great.
I'm not even being a dick. That is prime abduction land.
Well, you know what? This is how I know I've played too much Sims, because somebody gave Forrest a telescope for his birthday.
You really go look through that.
And I was like, great, now he's getting abducted. Great, now I'm getting hit by a meteor.
Shit. All right, this says, hello, ladies. I hope you're doing well, especially you, Jerry. That's in parentheses.
Thank you. I'm doing very well. I'm doing very, very well.
Doing great. First, I would like to say that I met you at the Charlotte show, and that was truly the best time of my life. You both have helped me through so much and have been friends when I had none. Also, my name is Sarah, and feel free to use my name. Hi, Sarah. Now, on to the spooky story that is actually about me. I'm the daughter that maybe got possessed by an alien. Both my mom and my dad have never stopped telling me that I was a creepy ass child. Truly, the stories that I have heard, if my child ever did this, I would give them to my parents and just leave. So
bye.
Real. So this is a sleepwalking story, but also a ghost story. I used to sleepwalk quite a lot as a child. For example, my dad would just get done watching a horror movie, and as he walked past my room, he would see me sitting straight up.
No.
Straight up in bed?
No.
And it says, parentheses.
Put it down.
Put it down.
Put it down.
Which is a shock because I have terrible posture. And then, this is worse. Not only sitting straight up, but sitting straight up staring at my closet.
Put it down.
Get out.
Take it out. Hey, Send it to the farm.
Goodbye. You live here now. He would call my name, and sometimes I did nothing. Other times I would turn and look at him and then lay back down. This was, by the way, the story I was reading when Creepy Sawyer Baby opened.
Oh, no way.
I was like,
well, no.
Get out.
Put it down.
I called Corey, and I go, the restraint I just had, not to full on kick your daughter.
Not to punt her across the room.
Across the damn room.
Oh, hell.
She says, other times my parents would wake up to me standing over them, watching them while they slept. Then I would just walk quietly back to my room and lay back down.
That reminds me of Paranormal Activity.
So scary. The way that Paranormal Activity, sorry, tangent time, I apologize, is the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen because of those moments.
Same.
Those moments alone, when they fast forward the time and it's just someone slowly rocking. That's brilliant because that is so fucking scary.
It's so scary and it's also nothing.
It's nothing, but it's the scariest thing that's ever happened because if you went back and watched yourself sleeping and you saw your wife or I'm going to cry. I have tears in my eyes. And you saw, like, if I watch, I'm going to cry. This is so scary to me. It's the scariest thing to think about. If I had a camera in my bedroom and I watched it back and I just saw Corey standing there for 10 hours. 10?
I was like, 10?
6?
Damn, how long do you sleep?
12. I get a full 12 at night. Okay, I'm just kidding.
I got a full 15 minutes.
If I saw him standing there for like 4 hours straight, just wobbling back and forth, and he's done creepy shit.
Dude, if he was there for 10 minutes, it's divorce.
I would never.
On site.
I would be like, I can't ever sleep in the same room as you, and I'm padlocking my room.
Yes.
Never getting back in here.
Yeah.
I almost did that when he was playing with my feet at night. That was just as scary.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. But one night, my dad, parentheses, who is for some reason very prominent in this little story, was watching a horror movie. This is a fucking theme.
Dad, I think this is a little bit your fault.
A little bit. A little bit. A lot of it.
Yeah.
One night, my dad, who was watching a horror movie late at night and was immersed in the eerie music, when all of a sudden, he sees me quietly walk out of my room. He calls my name, but I just keep walking until I get to the window and start staring out of it. He kept asking if I was okay, but all I said was, they're coming. And then in parentheses, it says, or I said, they're here. I'm not sure which one, but both are equally terrifying. I have tears.
Ew.
And so my dad said to himself, well, I guess this is my time. Which, how else would you respond? So he walks over to me and I just walk back to my room quietly.
Oh, no. Like he walks up to you and you just turn around and start walking?
See him and then start walking back?
No.
Oh, it's so scary.
No.
A little kid? I would punch my kid in the head. Reset. How do I turn it off?
Control, delete.
How do I turn it off and turn it back on?
I need to unplug you real fast. Plug it back in.
I'm just kidding. I've never punched my kid in the head before. Somebody takes that and shows CPS.
No, I wouldn't.
That was, for legal purposes, that was a joke.
No kids were harmed in the making of that joke.
No. I say that
It was an alien in my kid. I was trying to knock it out.
I'm punching the alien in the head. I'm sorry it chose to use my child as its body.
As a host.
Not my fault.
I hit a parasite within my child.
That's what I've always said. I say that I was possessed by an alien or something because later in my childhood, the doctors found something in my ear that looked very odd and almost like a battery, but it wasn't.
I put a eraser in my ear once.
That's not the same.
It's not. It's not.
Imagine, I want to be like, let me take that home. I need to see what that is for legal purposes.
And
I need whatever that is.
For science, I need that.
Give me that.
A battery.
It looked like a small battery, but it was like probably one of those circular ones.
That you put in dog collars?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
What was that doing in your ear, friend?
PSA, what was it doing in your ear? But PSA, for real, I'm not even fucking kidding. Take those batteries out of your kids' toys, and if they have those batteries, throw those toys away if your kids are at like putting stuff in their mouth. Because I'm on scary TikTok, and the amount of ER doctors / ER nurses who are like, those are the number one cause of like child
yikes
in the ER, because they'll like erode through your bowels and yeah. So don't get rid of them.
That's
those
why
circular
my kids,
batteries, get rid of them.
My kids didn't really have any batteries with or toys
battery
with batteries
operated.
in them.
It's smart. I also saw many ghosts as a child. One night, my dad was about to change my diaper, but I was too busy laughing. So he asked what I was laughing at, and I said, "Those 3 little kids are tickling my toes."
No.
Ah!
No.
And so my dad, an avid horror movie watcher, obviously, asked me to point to where they are. And so I took his hand and pulled him to the closet, where all of a sudden a Barbie fell right in front of the closet door.
Where you sit up and stare? You psycho?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
So basically,
you haunted
bitch.
I'm sorry.
So basically, I was possessed by an alien that was preparing for someone to appear, and I also saw 3 little kids up until I was 12 years old. I have many other spooky stories. Very spooky,
you saw
honestly.
them until you were 12?
12. Very spooky, honestly. I can't believe how fucking creepy I was. And then
hell.
That's it. No goodbyes. Just
nothing?
Irish goodbye their way out of that fucking email. I was fucking spooky.
Bye.
Just like she did as a
Mic
child.
drop.
Fucking turned around and walked back to the closet. Away from us. How dare you? Okay, so just so this
when
sets
we do
the
these.
tone. These are my favorite ones. If anyone wants to start a spooky podcast, I'm so down, because I feel like you hate these, and I'm like, give me more. I just don't want to read them at nighttime. When we're in full lights, I'm so ready.
I would do more. I'll do them. Am I having a good time? No.
Well, hey,
I think I appeal to the people who are also not enjoying this but are here.
No, I'm not saying you're great now. I'm just saying it's hard for me to enjoy doing something with someone who doesn't enjoy what they're doing. I'm not going to force someone to partake in an activity I enjoy whilst watching their discomfort.
Just me
hurts. This one is called Spooky Ghost Horror Story. Also, we have our own thing. We don't need to be a spooky podcast. We're ladies and tangents. It's okay.
You don't want to be ladies in terror?
No. Hey, ladies. I don't want to tell the rest of it because I don't want it to be given away. Hey, ladies. It's the submitter formerly known as Coraline here.
Coraline, a repeat offender.
However, that's my middle name, but I want to start submitting under my real name, which is Zoe. So hello. Aww. Nice to be reacquainted. My name is Zoe, and I have a spooky story for spooky season. Disclaimer, if you don't believe in woo-woo spooky I'm sorry, it said spooky wookie stories. I'm going to sound like an entire banana split with an extra scoop of nuts to you, but this story is equal parts sad, spooky, and beautiful, and I couldn't not share it.
Okay.
It's really a lot of the first ones.
Okay.
Just so you're aware.
Less of the last. All right.
Yeah.
Great.
But I like it.
Okay.
But I don't know that you'll feel the same.
Okay.
So grab some tissues, grab some pearls to clutch, Jerry, and let's hop right into it. The way that we went down, by the way, to Salem with Sabrina and Corinne from Two Girls, One Ghost, and they were like, we should collab. We should do an overnight. We should do a spooky. And we're all saying yes. And I look over and Jerry's like, you were down.
I'm the one who said we should do the Estes method in the freaking graveyard at Salem.
Yeah, that's true. But I when we were talking about like staying overnight at the yeah.
I'll do it.
That's what I mean. I could just tell your face. You were like, you were very much like, I'm going to be a team player about this, but I
think that's because I'm so familiar with haunted stuff. Like I'm so open to it that I
know.
experience it a lot. So it's more like I'm just preparing for the car crash of hauntings that
But
I will
we
inevitably experience.
Are going to be with two people who I feel like are far more haunted than us. So maybe they'll attract to them more.
But we're going to be with them.
We can separate.
You want to separate?
No.
No.
But maybe I do. You know me. I like to go on my own. I'm not really afraid of this stuff. Now, maybe I would be eventually.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I probably would be at nighttime in the dark.
Okay.
It depends.
You literally in the show go, hey, guess what? It's spooky now.
Well, that's because
There
I was afraid
gunshots.
of wild animals and gunshots.
Okay.
Ghosts, not so much.
She's like, I'm afraid of real life issues.
I have too many of those happening up here.
Yeah.
Ghosts, I'm like, nah, whatever.
See, if we're really going to break it down, I
Please.
think it's more that
Your religious trauma.
I think it's more the unknown.
Oh, that's fair.
The unknown gets me more than anything else.
I know too much. So the known scares me.
Word. The known makes me feel better, but there's so much unknown
Okay.
with spooks.
That's fair.
Spooky-ookies.
With me, I think I know enough about the spooky-ookie because I do dabble in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun thing for me to listen to watch a lot.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
spooky haunted stuff. That I'm like, no one's ever like really got fucked up unless they're living there for a while.
Right.
Not on an overnight.
Right.
So I'm good.
Right.
Unless I bring it home with me. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen.
I already know how to do that.
So it's fine. Okay. Though I don't like to go into specific details about it, I have a bit of a tragic backstory. I was not blessed in the family department as a child, and I had parents that deeply did not like me and made it known since birth. So by the time the story takes place, I'm like 5 years old, and I don't feel safe at home. Cue the watchers. Quote, watchers. Now, if you asked little me, she would have sworn up and down that she did not have an imaginary friend. I tried once when I was like 4, but after 30 minutes, I turned to him and I said, ever so matter-of-factly, "This is ridiculous, Simon. We both know you're not real." But sometimes,
Who's Simon?
well, a goose. But sometimes, if you sneaked a little peek into the playroom, you might catch me sharing toys and speaking up to the clearly empty corner in my room. One night, after a particularly bad day, I was snuggled up in bed, trying to soothe myself and calm down. I was scared of the door and what could be on the other side of it. I heard the door open, and I rolled away, pretending to be asleep. I didn't want to face anyone right now, but whoever it was didn't say anything as they walked into the room. But I couldn't hear footsteps, just a weird dragging sound.
No.
And the energy in the room felt wrong.
No.
I turned
Not the dragging.
I turned my head and saw what could only be described as a monster standing in the doorway. As a timid child who did not like horror, I was scared speechless. I was right, and all the grown-ups were wrong. Monsters were real, and one of them was in my room right now. He was... Here we go. You're not going to like this paragraph.
I'm going to try. Like right now, I'm okay, but that's only because I'm picturing Mike and Sully
You're not going to like this paragraph.
Oh, no. Okay.
He was a huge white humanoid creature that stood on fleshy, bony legs similar to a canine's hind legs. His arms were so long and thin with extended claws that drug on the floor. He stood in a curled position with hunched spines, with visible vertebrae bumps, and moved his head side to side with this weird jerky shaking motion to communicate.
Oh, no.
He was incredibly thin, and his skin was shrink-wrapped to his bones, with visible veins painting their limbs and torso. Now, they go back and forth from his...
I think I went to prom with him. I'm kidding.
You're so real for that. They go back and forth between saying his and their, and it's because there was one at this point, but multiple that showed up through their time. Okay, so just so you're aware,
Yeah.
His long, skinny neck craned his head, so the face would always be level with me, despite his size. He had a hairless, large white, like chalk white head, with deep, endless black holes for eyes, slits for nostrils, and he didn't have a mouth. But to communicate, he would unhinge his jaw and stretch the jaw so that his, quote, mouth, fleshy hole, would stretch wide open, would tear and stretch wide open to reveal an endless dark red hole. Then it says in parentheses, I've included a sketch at the bottom of this for y'all.
Are you out of your mind?
And I'm gonna show it to you right now. Are you ready? And that's for you. Okay. Everybody,
I have tears in my eyes.
We'll show you that if you'd like to see it.
I hate him, although I love how you portray him in the drawing.
Well, you'll see why. Are you ready?
Okay. I do have a question.
Okay.
This is a question for everyone listening. Does this sound like something you've seen? Like, I wonder if this is I
have another story for you after this that I think you'll enjoy. Here we go. Okay, stay with me.
Okay.
This is why I did it like this. The monster did not approach the bed. He merely made eye contact with me and then walked slowly, his arms dragging behind him, to the corner of my room and sat down. Once sat, his eyes were focused on the door, and then he didn't move all night. Whenever I had
He's like a guard dog.
He's a watcher.
Oh.
Whenever I had a particularly bad day and was going to bed feeling scared and alone, they would come back and watch all night, making sure no one came into my room so that I could sleep peacefully. When things started to get bad again, they started hanging around during the day, too. They were very good at playing Barbies, and they listened to me talk for hours without ever telling me to be quiet or that no one cared what I had to say. The watchers cared. To little me, the watchers were my friends, and they were as real to me as you or I. I stopped seeing them for a while, and then they came back when I was 16 and going through a really rough time, and then again when I was in my late 20s after my miscarriage.
What?
Neither time did they enter my room, but they peered around my open door and just watched. But both of these times they came.
I have chills.
I know. But both of these times, they came more as dreams rather than existing in reality. Like in those bleary moments just before sleep rips you from reality. I knew they weren't actually there this time. I forgot that we were childhood friends, and I was just terrified instead, which I kind of would be too if I saw this in my dream. And then I had a dream a few months back where they made themselves known for a final time. They all came to me and spoke to me. Their voices were like an ancient wind rasping through dead trees and echoing off mountaintops.
This imagery?
Beautifully written.
Yes.
If you're not a writer, fucking start.
Yeah.
Because it's phenomenal. It whispered and pitched erratically, as if they didn't have voice boxes, but were bending the forces of nature to mimic human speech to convey this message. They told me that they were called the Watchers, and they had found me when I was a little girl. They saw that I was deeply unprotected and decided to step up and watch over me and keep me safe from the monsters in my waking hours. That they came back when I was a teenager to try and make me see how dangerous the environment I was in was, and again after the loss to comfort me in my agony. But they were leaving permanently now. They could see all things past, present, future, and they knew I no longer needed or would need their protection.
That's really sweet.
I know.
It's heartwarming.
It's heartwarming that the tragedies of my life have come to a close and that the rest of my existence on the mortal plane would be peaceful and safe. My daughter didn't need them because she has me, and they were going to rejoin the Fae world. They left, and I haven't seen them since. I used to get this feeling that they were watching me over my shoulder, but that's gone now. Now it's up to you to decide whether or not I just have a very overactive imagination and that this is just a small, weird child's coping mechanism to navigate an abusive environment that came back to comfort me in hard moments in my life, or if these creatures are real. But I will say that the Watchers exist in numerous mythologies under different names from around the world, and they are known to protect vulnerable people, especially children. Their descriptions match up with mine, and when these, quote, visits started, I had never encountered any of these stories, so it wasn't an implanted idea. Did my little brain imagine a monster scarier than the monsters in my real life to keep me safe and let the idea go when I was healing and finally feeling safe in my adult life? Or did the Fae take pity on a small child with no one looking out for her and take on the role of protector until I did not need them anymore? Stay spooky, ladies. Happy Halloween.
That is wild. And also, how comforting is it to have them say, like, you don't need us anymore because we can see past, present, and future? Like,
and you're gonna be good.
I think I would live my life almost recklessly at that point. Like, they already know. They said I'm good. Then I am good.
That is the difference between you.
They come back and they're like, yo, we didn't mean like that.
Hold up. She's going off the fucking rails.
Pump the brakes there, sister.
Holy hell. Yeah. Well, I told you that one to tell you this one. Because this is, again, I read probably 40 to 50 of these stories.
Okay.
I was really going through them to try to find ones that I thought would be spooky, but not too spooky. And these ones, the fact that I found them both, here we go. Hey ladies, my name is Kate, she, her, and you can use my name. I started listening to y'all a couple years ago after finding y'all on TikTok, and I've listened to every episode so far, and I re-listened to y'all during my 12-hour graveyard shifts to pass the eerily quiet nights alone.
Do you know when people say graveyard shift, I literally thought they were working at a graveyard.
So did I!
I didn't realize that's what they call a midnight.
Nighttime.
Yeah.
This night shift.
Yeah.
A graveyard shift. That's a night shift. I was like, damn, you work at a graveyard?
That's what I thought every time. They're like, I work the graveyard shift.
I work at a factory.
Like, damn. How many, what needs done at night at a graveyard? Like, are you just like patrolling? What's going on?
Watching. Okay. I have tons of stories from my haunted childhood home to my absolutely ancient haunted farm in Tornado Lane to my even more ancient, probably haunted farm in New Mexico. But today, I wanted to share the time I almost shat myself at work. This is important. This is going to be a long one, so buckle up and turn all the lights on.
I thought you were going to tell me to turn them off, and I'm like, I won't.
I'm not doing it. Well, imagine we did. We just are completely in the dark for this episode. So I work security at a construction site about 20 miles from civilization in the southern Colorado mountains. And at the time of this story, it was essentially just a dirt plot with some flattened paths as, quote, roads. Mm-hmm. And my entire job was just babysitting tractors and expensive materials overnight.
Hell yeah.
Just like watching. Truly watching. I drive a very large diesel truck with light bars in every direction and all the obnoxious, stereotypical, undercut rocking, small town lesbian truck things.
Hell yeah.
It says in parentheses, don't worry, I also have a Subaru. It came with my gate card.
Hell yeah.
The point is, I can see a lot in the dead of night up here and pretty well, even in reverse. So there's not really any way that my eyes could be playing tricks on me here. I was parked between two of the deers. I'm assuming John Deere's.
Yeah.
Because it's spelled DEERE.
RES. Yeah. Okay.
At the back of the site. And I was about to go down to do my hourly patrol. I threw the truck in reverse, going to back out of the spot I was in when I glanced at my reverse camera and I almost fucking pissed in my little cargo khakis. Standing, hunched slightly down and staring at the camera was what I initially thought was a very mangy fox. It scared me, sure, but at first I was like, all right, it's just a fucked up fox, whatever.
You ever seen a fucked up fox before?
No, because foxes will turn and run from the light, and this thing just turned and kept staring at my truck. Upon further investigation, this thing was so much bigger than a fox, like bigger than a coyote, and we don't have those here anyways. It was more very large dog-sized, but proportioned very strangely and hairless with very pale skin. Chalk white, one might say. No spots or scabs or anything, like with severe mange, just almost white, veiny skin.
Ew.
I'm talking long front legs, short back legs like a hyena, but a long tail like a fox and a giant ass, very wide, very canine head. And it just kept staring at me. Its spine and ribs were protruding. And its shoulder bones were huge and very high. But I don't want to say it was emaciated because its haunches were super muscular. Like a canine. I froze, not wanting to back over the thing.
Oh, I just floored it.
Yeah. Fucking. But with nowhere to go forward except into a very expensive front loader, I was not about to get out of the truck to go shoot it. So we just sat there, my unsettling bald friend staring at my truck and me staring at it through the camera for the longest 30 seconds of my life, save for when I had sex with a man for the very first time. And Fido eventually stood on two legs and walked. Very uncoordinated and stiff, almost mechanical, jerky motions. Still looking at the truck, into the woods and disappeared. I don't think I've ever gotten that truck to go as fast as I got it to go out of that fucking part of the site. And I stayed away from that specific spot for a few days. I've lived in the boonies and sticks my whole life, and I've experienced some whack ass shit, but I've never felt the way that thing made me feel. It was an unnatural, inhuman amount of fear, and I am one hardened ass bitch with the self-preservation of a lemming. I hadn't seen anything like that before and haven't since, and I don't think I'll ever be able to forget it. Sometimes I dream about it. Dream about it. And every time I have to wake my fiance up for comfort because it shakes me up so bad. That said, sorry, not sorry if this freaked you out as much as it freaks me out, but I hope to hear y'all squeal about it on the pod. I love you both so much. Happy holidays and keep on keeping on. Kate, I don't think you knew when you sent that in what your story would be. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I read the other one first and then I read that, I had full fucking chills because I'm like, what are the odds that these two people described almost exactly the same thing so differently in such different contexts?
Yeah. Zoe said that has been, the Watchers have been talked about in different
like mythologies and cultures
and called different things. I wonder what other names for it is. Mm-hmm. Like, and if we would have known, because like, isn't like a like near,
what's that?
Look
similar to that.
I think so.
What I want to say though, Kate, is I hope if you're listening right now that gives you a little bit of, you're not as scared anymore. And I hope that there's a little bit of comfort if you heard the previous story, that you could be like, maybe that was looking out for you. Maybe it was watching you because it was like, oh, she's all alone out here. Yeah. I want to make sure she's okay.
You think?
Or maybe you were going through something. Ew, Jerry. Why would you make me look this up? Ew, it's cannibalistic. I don't like this thing. This is not a Watcher. This is scary. If this is on your land, I'm never coming up there because it looks like a deer.
I know, but that's kind of what I felt like was being described, minus the horns.
Wrong. I mean, I can see how it's similar, but this one says it's a cannibalistic monster that is said to have exceptional strength, speed, eyesight, hearing, and sense of smell. It's associated with winter. It is and is considered a symbol of the dangers of selfishness. Ew. This is an indigenous belief, I believe. It says some indigenous historians believe I don't want to say the name because I know with some things if you say it, I'm just not going to say it. Was once a symbol of Euro-American greed, violence, and land theft against indigenous people. I'm not trying to, but that's scary.
No shit.
That's so scary.
No shit.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Because there are certain cryptids, and there's a lot of indigenous land near where Kate's talking about.
Yeah. Well, also around us.
Yes.
Scary.
Great. Now Sierra's never coming to my house.
I'm scared.
I'm getting a driveway, and now that's not even going to be. She's like, you know what?
Are you getting a driveway?
Yeah.
When's that?
2 weeks.
Are you really paved? Mm-hmm. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm going to have like a road that goes up to my house.
Well, I will come, but I will be scared.
Okay.
Just so you're aware, I am scared of this thing. This thing it's like a walking deer.
Yeah, I know.
That's what it looks like. I've never seen anything or felt anything. If that makes you feel better.
At my house?
Well, but I've never been up there by myself. Well, we stayed the night there, and I never felt scared in that way there.
I know.
So the next one's called Toby Lives in the Shadows. This is a horrifying episode. Hi, ladies. Last story I sent in was kind of heavy, so here's a spoopy one about my mom's dead cousin. Smiley face. This is a long one.
Much lighter.
So fine. So apologies in advance. My name is Mia, she, her. My mom and grandma love telling my family a story about when I was about 4 years old and I was standing at the bottom of the stairs playing while my mom and my grandma sat at the top watching me. I stopped playing, looked up at them and said, "Who's that boy?" and pointed to the space between them. Mom and grandma, obviously, freak out and start asking, "What boy? What does he look like?"
Mm-hmm.
So I tell them, "He has red puffy hair and he's upset." It's Forrest. He's pissed.
Yeah.
Mom and grandma immediately knew it was Toby, my mom's cousin who had passed away before I was born. Years go by, and I don't mention seeing Toby anymore, but as I get older, I start seeing a shadow creeping around in corners and in windows. I can't see any other detail other than quote, afro puffy hair.
Mm-hmm.
I never think anything of it, and I go about my business playing with toys because, playing with Barbies and chewing on Polly Pocket clothing was more important in my adolescent mind. When I turned 12, it's weird that 12 is an age that keeps being brought up as well. There's going to be a lot of things in these stories that keep being brought up. Colorado's
themes.
Getting brought up again.
Yeah.
Ages, places,
types of
descriptions.
Yes.
When I turn 12, we move into my great-grandpa's house, and I make a friend there. His name is Chris. I tell my mom and grandparents about Chris. To my surprise, Chris only lets me know that he's there. And my grandpa says, "What does Chris look like?" I tell them he has long blonde hair and he's skinny. He kind of looks like you, Grandpa. And my family freezes and tells me that my grandpa has a brother named Chris who looks as I described, but Chris died years ago in an accident. Of course, me being me, I'm like, "Oh, cool, a ghost is my friend."
I have goosebumps
I know.
again.
Years go by and nothing happens. I've forgotten about Toby at this point, but last year when I turned 24, Chris, so I thought, makes himself known again after many years of silence from him. For context, I moved into my boyfriend's place and brought some stuff that I got from my great-grandpa's place. As soon as I moved those items into the house, it got spooky very quick. So she brings the items that she had at that house into this house.
Yeah,
things
they're
start
attached
happening.
to the items.
Exactly. This makes me feel so much better that I got rid of so much from all my old houses. I can't even tell you. The way that I fucking Marie Kondoed that shit out of my life, I feel so much better about it. But if it's a family thing, I get it. We felt someone else there at all times. We felt like someone was always watching. I knew it. My 4-year-old son was always scared, and he told me, "I don't like the guy who lives in the shadows." And my boyfriend would see someone walk into the room and stand by the bed, not saying anything. I joked it off, saying, "Oh, it's Chris. He's just happy to be out of the storage unit." My boyfriend, of course, says, "I don't care if it's Jesus himself. Please ask your ghost to stop scaring me when I'm trying to sleep."
Word.
Real. One night, I'm sitting at home by myself, and I think, maybe I should talk to Chris because he's being a bit creepy. So I out loud ask if Chris can be a bit nicer to us, and I apologize for locking my items, in the storage unit for the last 3 years.
Right.
As I'm saying this, I see a shadow out of the corner of my eye standing by the door to the hallway. I immediately get scared and freeze up. When I look at it, I see a shadow with no details but puffy afro-type hair. It leaves after a minute and goes towards my son's room. My son is at his dad's for the week, so instead of following it, because this isn't a horror movie and I have common sense, I call my mom and go outside. I tell my mom about Chris coming back and being creepy, and she says, "Mia, I'm going to send you 2 pictures. You tell me who you think you saw." She sends me the pictures, and I tell her who it was, and she says, "Mia, that's Toby, not Chris." Makes sense considering Chris was so nice to me before, and he had straight hair, and the last time I remember Toby, he was living in the shadows being creepy, and he has an afro. He's probably like a little kid who just wants to be like, fucking with you.
Maybe.
Or he's spooky. After putting two and two together, I go back inside and ask Toby to leave or be nice. and everything eventually settles down in the house, besides occasionally feeling like someone is there. We moved out in September and got a cute little old house that we love. Even with my items moving with us, we haven't felt anyone or anything in the new house.
Good. That's so good.
I do believe that Toby has either settled down or he stayed in the old house when we left it. All this aside, I do miss Chris. He was a real homie. And Toby, I'm sorry, but I wouldn't be upset if you stayed living in the shadows at the old house. Heart.
You can stay there.
Thanks for reading. Sorry, it's a lot. I love you ladies. Stay spooky.
I wonder, that was, Toby was the mom's cousin, right?
Toby was the mom's dead cousin, yes.
I wonder, died as a child?
4, I think, was what it said.
I wonder if there's like...
No, I'm sorry. 4 years old was how old she was. So that's my bad. Toby was maybe just a creepy little kid.
Well, part of me wonders like if there was just some want for attention. And sometimes...
How are you going to get it?
Sometimes they don't try to get it in a positive way because any attention is attention. That's
so true.
Yikes.
Yikes is right. Okay, I can do let's do 2 more. 2 more?
Yeah.
You think that's right?
Yeah.
This one is called My Haunted Hometown Was on a Ghost Hunting Show.
Okay.
So not too terribly scary in the way, but just a little bit of a history lesson, kind of. Hello, ladies. My name is Emma, she, her, and my hometown is definitely haunted. Although people could probably figure out where this is, I won't give the name. I moved to this town in 2017 to a new development on the outskirts of the old town and closer to the high school, so I personally didn't experience any crazy things there up until I met Kate. Sorry, up until I met Katie. That's her name. Katie, she, her, is one of my besties that has lived in the old town since 2012. So there's like an older town that was built there, then the newer one that's
around it.
New development. Her house is relatively close to the middle school, which was built in the early 1900s as a grade 6 through 12 school. Lots of people have talked about creepy experiences there, such as an overnight Katie went to having motion-activated lights turn on in nearby classrooms throughout the night when no one was in them. But Katie's house is absolutely the creepy one, along with the extremely creepy shit that's happened on her street. This story is pretty long, but there's a lot of fun Halloween spooky shit to tell you. For some context of our town, we were a mining town established within 10 years of Colorado being founded.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm not sure if it was a common thing for mining towns, but we had a plethora of miner strikes, mining accidents, sicknesses, and more throughout our history.
That's an incredibly dangerous job.
Horribly dangerous.
If people don't know, like they don't have that kind of work near them, I don't think they realize just how dangerous it is.
Well, for example, this next sentence said, we had a mining accident killing around 300 miners at one point. That's
miners as in the workers, not children.
But also some of them were miners.
Yes.
Because that's the thing back then is there were no regulations on when you could mine. And so there were actually like teenagers doing it as well. So scary. Also had gun battles in towns nearby involving us, and one of the creepiest stories, a supposed trial of 13 witches being hung, connected to the 13 trees down the road from Katie's house.
No.
Yes.
Here's something too.
Spooky town.
Here's something too. Go? I saw something that was like, they were women who were hung. Call them what they were. They were women.
They weren't witches. They were women.
Yes. You labeled them something in order to hang women.
But you hung women.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? Now they're haunting you. So you feel like you're valid because, look at the spooky shit they're doing. They were witches. No, you just pissed off a bunch of women.
Because you murdered them, you pieces of shit. I don't call you a piece of shit, you fucking bitch. All right. On her street alone, there was a man shot for cheating in poker, a tragic suicide at the park down the street from her house, and another man dying on someone's doorstep. So those are all things
a lot of
tragic deaths.
Yes.
It's all really sad, but to be fair, my spooky loving ass finds living in a creepy town super cool. Fair enough.
Good. I'm glad you're thriving.
Our town even had an episode on a ghost hunting show for a haunted as fuck house built really close to the railroad that runs through the town. I linked it at the bottom. I am going to watch it. I watched it a while back, and all I remember is it being really scary, so proceed with caution.
Great.
I will send it to you. As expected, Katie's own house is quite haunted. Although she's the house that hosts parties, sleepovers, and hangouts, and it's lived in by 3 women that decorated it with Disney and love, her basement is absolutely terrifying, and a few things have happened in other places in the house. So here's 2 of those stories. The first one I'm copying and pasting straight from a narrative that Katie wrote about her stories in her house because she phrases it best. So this is a quote, and it's kind of out of context, so just know we're coming in the middle of a story.
Okay.
Quote, in that same corner, the dishwasher has gone absolutely berserk. One night, I was sitting in the dining room, which is connected to the kitchen, just having finished my chore of loading the dishwasher and starting it. I sat at the kitchen table, eating a midnight snack and scrolling through Instagram, when all of a sudden, I heard the little ding of the dishwasher. This isn't a unique occurrence. It lets out a little ding whenever it changes cycles. So I remained unbothered, munching and scrolling away. But when it happened 30 seconds later, yes, I counted, I was a bit annoyed. I told it to shut the fuck up. After another 30 seconds, it sounded again. And after about 5 minutes of this continued pattern, I decided to gather whatever false courage I had to face the dishwasher. As soon as I stepped foot into the kitchen, the dishwasher went manic with dings and flashing lights. That is so fucking scary. For some reason, that's also like someone just standing there when you're sleeping.
Yes.
If you walk in and then something's like,
And
boom, 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 boom.
There's technology that, oh my gosh, yesterday.
So scary.
Yesterday I was cleaning my closet and like finally organizing shit because I just tossed everything in there at the beginning of tour.
I'm living out of my suitcase. It's fine.
I had my windows in my bedroom open, and there was also a window open downstairs.
Yeah.
And it was on the opposite wall. So there was like airflow. And all of a sudden, my door,
oh no.
I am taking tags off of something, and one of the things that I took off had one of those like pins. That's how it was on there.
Yeah.
The door slams shut so loud, I stabbed myself in the finger. Actually, it's right there.
Yeah,
that little tiny hole.
Damn.
And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, what just happened? And then I'm like, oh, that's science.
Yeah.
That was the wind. Okay, but still.
Dude, having doors open with windows open scares me so bad because they will just like slam shut like that. I'm like, no. I don't like that at all. Per usual, I was the only person awake in the house at midnight, so I ran to my mommy. I know, cowardly, but what would you have done? I dragged her half asleep person to the cursed dishwasher, but when we arrived, it stopped completely. No dings, no lights. Just me looking absolutely ridiculous after having woken up my poor sleeping mother for absolutely no reason at all. I apologized to my mom, but asked her to wait for me while I gathered my belongings and got settled in my safe haven of a bedroom. It's like, Mommy, please wait.
Yeah.
Wait for me. I'll walk upstairs with you. My mom claimed that she believed me, but I knew how it sounded. Once I was settled, I kept the lights on, took an anxiety medication, and tried to relax on Instagram. But then I get a notification from my astrology app, CoStar. You know how it just pops up with words? Yeah. I'm not a huge believer in astrology signs and their meanings and such, so I really just have the app for fun and to interact with my friends. But the notification read, and I remember this exactly, the call is coming from inside the house. That's all that pops up on her phone.
What if she opens the app and it's like, don't, dishes.
Do get out.
Yeah.
I'd be freaking the fuck out. It says, which this, of course, is a classic horror film story trope. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have taken a screenshot because now I have no proof. But what are the chances that a borderline poltergeist moment and a message like that appears in the same night? Keep in mind that this app is completely randomized, so it sends a message whenever it feels like it. So for it to send at that specific moment, mine's never sent in the middle of the night.
Me neither. Mine's
crazy.
Always between like 12 and 3.
Yeah. From that night on, I've started the dishwasher just before I go to sleep, sprinting to my bedroom space.
I don't want to hear a goddamn word out of you.
So it says, so yeah, that's one. The second one is one that I experienced in her house. Katie's birthday party last year was a big sleepover with about 8 to 9 girls. We were discussing Katie's creepy-ass basement pretty late at night, and some girls hadn't been down there before, so we went down.
So many friends.
So many friends.
That's a lot of friends.
I've never had that many friends, I think, in my life. Katie's basement's pretty large. Half of it is finished with 2 rooms and a living room, but the other half is just a large storage room where 99% of the creepy shit happens. Anyways, I'm walking around with 2 girls in the group named Tia and I want to say Kaeshley. It's Kaeshley.
Okay.
Kaeshley.
Okay.
And we go to the storage room. We're joking around about it when we walk into the area in the middle of the room, and I start to feel cold. In this little circle area, the left side of my whole body is in. I feel chills down that whole side.
Mm-hmm.
I step out and it stops. Tia's right side of her body steps into the circle, and she gets chills too. Kaeshley puts in both of her arms and puts in both of her arms and chills go down her hands and arms. Once this all happens, we stare at each other for a few seconds in fear before we start screaming and run up the stairs. Not a fucking clue what was in that circle, but we all absolutely experienced it, and these girls are ones that would never ever lie about that type of stuff. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed these spooky stories in my spooky hometown. I love you ladies so much, and you got me through so many classes in high school that I hated and now walked to class in college. You've absolutely changed me for the better, and you're one of my comfort things to listen to. Thanks for being you. I also linked another video from the old ghost tours that they used to have in my town. The guy talking sounds weird and maybe crazy, but it outlines the tour. Love you lots, Emma.
It sounds, Emma, like you played the hokey pokey with a cold spot.
And you
with
turned
a
yourself
ghostie.
around.
It's a hokey pokey ghostie. That's what it is.
And that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about.
Okay, I did pick a funny spooky story to end on.
So
that we could have a little hee hee ha ha moment. But it's
Blessings.
still spooky. Here we go. This is our ender. Hey ladies, you can call me S, and here's a good little spooky story and part of the reason as an adult that I can't sleep in the dark. This story revolves around my sister and I, she, her, and the room that we shared together. It was around Christmas time, and I was about 12 and my sister was about 14. We had a large room with a twin bed on each side of the room, and my sister had strung lights around the entire ceiling for decoration, like Christmas lights. I love when people decorate the rooms for Christmas. I think it's so cute. I could never because I'm afraid of fires, but I love when people do it.
I love it for you.
I do. Our house was creepy at the least, and sharing a room made it no easier as my sister was an avid sleepwalker. It was around 5 a.m. on a school day, and we were both fast asleep. We woke up to what sounded like a metal bucket being hit from inside the room, like raindrops on metal. Ding, ding.
Raindrops on metal in buckets in bedrooms.
I said in pop-ups.
Fuck it, I'm not using a word there. How about that?
I'm just going to do wet pop-ups. You ever do buckets of pop-ups? That reminds me, I did watch back because so many people on the Patreon left comments and they were like, when you guys were singing Christmas, that was so funny. So I went back and listened, and it is funny to hear us both of us not saying any words, but sounding so close.
I was trying to fast forward to find the part where we talk about Brady getting hit by a car.
Go to Patreon if you want to hear that shit.
Hear that. And I fast forwarded and it stopped right when we went bah, 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 bah.
It was very accurate.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to like go through videos and just skip
Out
10
of
seconds
context.
and see out of context what we're saying.
Very funny. Raindrops. By my sheer surprise, my less confrontational sister gets out of bed to go investigate. I'm sitting up in bed trying to squint in the darkness to see what she's doing, only to watch her silhouette instantly fall to the ground and start screaming. I'm talking blood-curdling, goosebumps scream. I watch in horror as my sister continuously tries to get off the ground, but keeps seemingly getting pulled back down. I immediately jump out of bed and head for the door with intruder as the only thing running through my mind. I should add that I had an irrationally bad fear of break-ins as a child. It's me with fires. She somehow made it in front of me, and I'm screaming because the door opens inwards and she won't open it fast enough, so they're both just like... We finally get out and down the stairs as my brother comes running out of his room with a golf club. He's so fucking ready, dude. And both of my parents absolutely dumbfounded, standing outside of their rooms. No urgency. The parents are just like stumbling out. The brother is ready to fucking go and fight. I'm the brother in that situation. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but my fight or flight has been activated. And you're like half asleep.
Me, I hear the whole alarm system going off and I'm like, could you fucking... I got a couple more hours I need to get in me. Can you shut that off until then?
Good night. We finally get out and down the stairs as I did that one. My sister is in shambles and she has weird marks all over her ankles. My brother uses his club to turn the lights on and discovers that the monster in question that has grabbed her is the Christmas lights.
What?
The Christmas lights had fallen, and somehow, some way, when she got up and potentially was sleepwalking, they got wrapped around her ankle and they were pulling her back down to the floor. So she was trying to get up and away, and they were like, nope.
Those are really strong Christmas lights.
So strong. They must have been really tied to that wall.
Yeah.
It has forever traumatized me, and it's why I've never again put lights in my bedroom. And I can mostly laugh about it now.
That's so
Thank you,
scary.
ladies, for listening to my story. I hope you at least got a chuckle out of it. You make my days brighter.
Oh my gosh, that's the sister that cried ghost, but it was fucking Christmas lights.
If you're in the
It all keeps coming back to Christmas.
It does, and it always has. Oh, Jesus Christ, my Savior.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun. Mary, did you know that your baby?
Oh, wow.
So that's what we have for you, everybody. If you want to know what we're talking about on Patreon, you should go to patreon.com/ladiesandtangents, because you won't just find that. You'll find so many backlogs of episodes. So if you're at this point and you're like, oh, I wish I could listen to you again, you can.
The infamous,
for only $5 or $10 a month.
The infamous Happy Birthday, Dad. It's on there.
It is on there. Also, we're done at this point. Well, almost.
Almost. You could come to our show tonight. I don't know if San Diego's sold out, but you could come if you're in that area. And then tomorrow we're in Phoenix, and then we're done. So
if you've ever wanted to see me cry, you might be able to do it at Phoenix, because that might be the only time. I just feel like potentially I'll get. Depends.
Yeah.
Adrenaline has a weird effect on my body.
Yeah.
But if I have enough alcohol to balance it out, I could have tears at that show.
I wonder if these shows are going to be a little bit different just because it is
it's our
the
last
end.
Ones.
I have butterflies.
I know. You're finally nervous. Welcome.
No, it's not from nerves. It's excitement. It's like first date kind of things. And I think it's because I think it's because I'm so close to
a chapter is closing.
Having my life. A
chapter is closing.
Yes.
That's nice.
And it's been bookended by tour. So like it's all wrapping up together in one, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to have such a huge monumental, like that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like I sometimes forget that we're on tour.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like we're doing shows in front of people.
Oh, that's what I
around the country.
When I was so proud of Noah and watching him, Corey was like, that's how we feel watching you.
Yeah.
Like, we can't believe that you can do it because you've adamantly said you can't, and I'm stage fright and I'm scared and blah blah blah. And then like the fact that you've done it, and you've done it so many times in so many different places to so many different people, it's crazy. It's really something to be proud of.
I know that.
So go us.
Like before shows, Brady always sends me like a pep talk.
Yeah.
And it always includes something like, go out there and do what you love. Go out and do what you're good at. Like this is like, you guys do this all the time. This is your thing. Like, and it's crazy. I don't know. I just sometimes I get so into the routine of it that I don't zoom out and look at everything that we've accomplished, because our 5-year anniversary is coming up.
So crazy.
Like this month. Actually, we realized at lunch that it comes out on the same day.
Tuesday the 29th is the first time it's Tuesday the 29th again.
Yep, and that's our 5-year anniversary. So typically for those, we have people share their connections with the podcast. And
so if you'd like to send those in,
video, audio,
you can send those to L&T T. The T is very important. L&T stories is important as well, at gmail.com.
Yes. So we can share those with you. That's one of my favorites of the year.
It's fun.
Very
crazy.
Fun. Anyway, thanks so much everyone for hanging out. We love you so much, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.